Hello everyone. In today's e-commerce training sector, we are just going to go through a little bit of information on how you can be able to actually start your e-commerce store. So firstly, I want you to do a little exercise or a little outline as to what your product is, what channels you're going to be selling it on, and how you will be setting up your website, what kind of mood and tone your website is going to be, and what the key elements of your brand is, okay? And also identify the payment methods. So that will be outlined within the exercise required for you to be completed at the end of the class. So with this exercise, it will actually give you an outline of how you're going to strategize for your e-commerce sector. When we're talking about content, we are actually going to go through these aspects within this class. So I'll just get started. With this class, we are going to start off with different types of templates that you can be able to use, branding, your omni-channel. I'll give you a little bit of examples as well, how you will set up your product page, how will you actually use your descriptions, and then finally checkout process. So we'll go through the first step initially. With templates, I want to be able to clarify that templates can actually be found in different types of avenues, such as Wix, such as Shopify. So it depends what kind of platforms that you're wanting to work with. These are actually templates that you can be able to create websites by yourself. But if you're wanting websites to be professionally made, then I have a few links down below to some of our design companies and also some of our affiliated links with Shopify for you to be able to have a look at the templates and what kind of design that they've got in place as well. Because you're wanting to actually use the template and add your branding, your words, your design to this as well. So as we go, we are going to be doing a series of exercises for you to be able to clarify your brand within an e-commerce sector. So the first sector, I just want you to choose 3 words that will identify your brand, or 3 words that will translate in your website template. So as an example, 3 words that we have chosen is vibrant, down to earth, and informative. Okay, vibrant, down to earth, and informative. So those are the kinds of words we want to be able to translate through the brand value and the brand message as well. The next one I want you to be able to think about is, when we're talking about these 3 types of words, how would you actually translate that into a template format? Firstly, when you're choosing your templates, just choose the one that resonates with you, okay? Don't think about the brand, don't think about anything at all, but choose the one that resonates with you and the one that has its functionality that's suitable to what e-commerce store you're going to be using. These are the few examples from Wix. So these templates are templates that demonstrate design individuals and has an online store as well. When we're talking templates, when we're choosing this type of template, when we're talking about vibrant, down to earth, and informative, I would actually choose this one, which is more relevant into our context. So once we've selected our template, we can be able to adjust and say this one will be used in its vibrant, down to earth, and informative setting through images and also through the functionality of it being an e-commerce store. The next one we are going to go through is a little bit of other templates and a few different examples of e-commerce store from Wix again. If we're going to choose vibrant, luxury, and informative, this is something that we would actually choose for the e-commerce. This is purely based on preference and what you feel that is right for you, right for your brand. With the templates, try not to spend too much time overthinking about what you're going to be using, but tend to think how it's going to function and how the brand is going to translate through the usage of the template itself. With the template exercise, I want you to be able to relate 3 different words to each type of template. So, number 1, we are going to go through number 12. So all of these are different types of templates that you can be able to choose. I want you to look at the template and show me and tell me how do you feel with each template? What is the brand translating to you? Okay, this will actually give you more of a sense of understanding the language behind the brand values. So when we're talking about branding, it's not just about how the overall site looks, but branding is also the personality that you put into the words, the character, the mood, the color, the texture, words, context, image, textiles, and also sizing of your imagery as well. So all these 9 different aspects become your branding translation, your branding translated language. So always make sure that you understand these aspects as well. You can be also add featured images and design inspiration through your branding as well. So as we build up an understanding the branding aspect of your e-commerce store, we can slowly build up your mood board at the end for your exercise. When we're talking about a mood board, we can be able to section out the mood board into this type of grid. So I created this mood board grid for you to be able to get images that you can be able to attach to. Once you attach the images to your mood boards, then we have a clearer understanding of what it is that you're wanting to achieve. So when we're doing a mood board and creating mood boards, we're sectioned out into these 11 sectors. Firstly, what is the personality of the brand? Secondly, what is the character of the brand? Thirdly, the mood and color of the brand. Fourthly, the texture that you're wanting to incorporate with the online aspects, the words that you're going to be using. Does the words have to change in order to convey a different type of message? And how will you actually start to change your wording and how this would actually relate to other aspects as well? As you can see, number 1 to number 4 and number 5 actually combined with one another relates to one another very evenly. So personality, character, mood, texture, and words. So all these aspects are actually seen within your brand personality within an e-commerce context. When we're talking about number 6, we are talking about the context that we're going to be publishing. Then with the content, we are going to be describing whether that will be in a blog format, narrative format, whether that will be in your About Us. So the content that will be added to your website always has to link to the personality. So always make sure that you have the personality and the persona really clear in order to move forward to the next step. This will actually create a more fulfilled and meaningful character to your audience. Okay, when we're actually creating content, this can also be related to the image that you're going to be using. So every aspect will work as a whole. Or every aspect will work informatively with one another in order to create the ultimate site and the ultimate strategy to get you to that end goal that you're wanting and desiring. So when we're talking about number 7, imagery should also link to narratives and your lifestyle. Then number 8 is textiles. Textiles and topography is actually a really important part of your website and of your mood tone. So some text can actually feel a little bit dated, or some text can actually feel a little bit in the professional side, but some text can be fun, can be vibrant. So it really depends on what kind of message and how you're going to link that back to your personality as well. So next, we're going to be talking about text size as well. So that really relates to the eye vision within your e-commerce store. Next, we're going to be talking about featured images. Featured images are images that relates to your product, relates to your brand, then a design inspiration. So this whole aspect becomes your design inspiration for your mood board. Okay, design inspiration can be anything. You can select different types of photos in order to create a total mood board. Once you've completed all these 11 aspects, then you can be able to complete what is called the brand personality mood board. So this is creating your brand personality mood board. When we're talking about it being cohesive, as I mentioned, it has to be cohesive not only within a desktop format, within a mobile format, within your application, within your social media, within your radio, within the TV channels you're going to be going on. Always make sure that the brand and make sure that your personality is cohesive with one another, because you don't want anything to have an actual mixed message, because that will translate and be very clear to your target audience. And by being very clear from the start to your target audience, in that way you would actually gain more of a following. So always make sure that your brand personality and mood board is actually cohesive between all your different platforms. Next, we're going to talk about a little bit of examples. Here is a little bit of example that we collected from different aspects where they're creating this kind of mood board with colors, with tones, with images, with text, with lifestyle photos as well. So that is kind of the achievements that we're wanting to create. As you can see, it's very clearly defined within each different type of mood boards, and it's always a good starting place for you to create a vision there, a vision in order to clarify what your business and what different aspects is actually going to be about. So as we can see here, I'll just zoom in a little bit closer. When we're talking about mood board, this is another one of the examples that we're wanting to show. I'll show you the other ones as well. So these are a few other mood boards that we've actually wanted to show you and be able to get you to get a feel of how do you actually start your own mood board. When talking about branding and mood board, as I said, I've created this mood board in 11 different sectors. So all these 11 sectors must be cohesive. Okay, so next we are going to be talking about an omni-channel. Some of you might have heard of this before, some of you might haven't heard of this before, but what inevitably an omni-channel is a cohesive network, you can say, of how your customers are going to be reached. So with the omni-channel, that could be a mixture of your e-commerce site, your online marketing, your social networks, your word of mouth, and your either your brick and mortar store as well. So always ensure that your omni-channel, which is the channels that you're going to be reaching your clients, are actually really cohesive. I'm just going to zoom in so you can be able to see clearly what I'm actually that's saying. So with this one, this omnichannel is an example of how you can create a cohesive channel within different avenues for your clients as well. So whether that will be your e-commerce, your online marketplace, your social networks, word of mouth, and brick and mortar store, all of this must be cohesive with one another. So we're just going to give you an example of one of the products and companies that we have is this one. So this one is actually an example of some of the products we have, which is categorized into 3 different sectors: academy, products, and also services as well. So when I created this website, I wanted to actually fulfill a niche of eyelash extensions in a very rigorous manner. When we're talking about lash extensions, we are also talking about not only the understanding of doing a service, but the understanding of providing quality products and quality education to help people within different aspects as well. So the first aspect, service aspects, is direct to consumer. The products is mainly and more so B2B, so business to business, and also the academy goes into a line up to both consumer and business as well, so both B2B and B2C. So these are kind of the products that we are going to be listing on the site. And with the products, you have to have the product information, the product description, the dates within the products, and how the products would actually be seen through and with the clients as well. Next, we're going to be talking about difference between a desktop and a mobile app as well, and a mobile site as well. When we're talking about a desktop and a mobile site, there is some places that actually just have a desktop version, but in countries where internet is actually not very fast, or for example, if someone is actually going traveling and they have a light version or a light version package of the internet, then there is a possibility of your website or your desktop website not being able to load. So always have an option of a mobile site as well. So this is an option of a mobile site that we have created for TLBB. The next aspect that I want to actually show you is an aspect within a part of the Omnichannel as well. So the social media is actually another part within the Omnichannel. With social media, some places actually want to be on every single social media, but it's not very necessary. The less social media you have, but the more refined and the more clear your message is, will be key. So that is really important. So you don't want to be on all the different channels and won't be able to manage it. But if you have a social media manager or outsource your socials, then there is a possibility for more of a cohesion. So that way, especially if you're a solopreneur, then you would actually be not be doing all the different aspects yourself. So you can be able to outsource different aspects for the clarity of your message. We have a few different links attached down below for social media managers that we have affiliates with. So I really highly recommend these companies as well. Another aspect is word of mouth. Have you got your clients' reviews in, whether that will be your imagery review, whether that will be your video context review? That could be a word of mouth review online or word of mouth review through different social media channels. So that is the kind of things that you want to actually present for your Omnichannel to have this cohesion within the different aspects. Next, I'm going to be talking about one of our first stores. I highly love my first store, obviously. the first store is always has a soft spot in your heart. So we created our first store within Victoria, Melbourne. I think that year was in the year around 2012, 2012, I think it was. So we had the store from 2012 to around 2018. And this store was in Victoria Street, just near the Victoria Market, and it was a brick and mortar store. Before we had changes and changed into more of an e-commerce strategy and e-commerce training sector. So our brick and mortar store really translates the concept of our vibrancy, of being informative, of having this this translated both within our digital files, both within our brochures, within our presenting kits. All these different aspects are actually presented within our store as well. So as you can actually see, this is our reception area and some flyers that relates to the brand, which is also present with the same colors in our social media and again within our desktop and website. So this is the kind of omni and cohesion that you want to present to your clients and to your audience as well. Next, we're going to be talking about product page and product page, because the examples that I'm giving you is actually a very niche product, which is eyelash extensions, but also within the beauty category. When we're talking about product information really relies on your description, your imagery, and clarity of the information provided. So in the landing page, you can have a series of different types of products. So the consumer or the client would actually know, okay, these are the different types of products. Then we go on to the next aspect, which is the information. Information and descriptions will actually give the client more of a vision as to what the product actually consists of. So with this one is one of our beauty courses. With the beauty courses, we actually have our title, what it is, the details, what is inside the product, what's it's inside, how is it good, why is it important, final notes, and obviously the terms and conditions for each product is really important to have an informative page. So all these aspects has to be thought out when we're actually completing the your website and your online sector. So as an example, you don't have to actually go through all these different aspects, but I'll just go through a different aspect of one of our courses. So this is Learn the Art of Eyelash Extensions, 1-day theory and practical, just a little bit of product information and why they actually should enroll into our course, because this course is registered with different types of organizations, whether that will be in Canada, in Korea, in Australia. So there is a series of different aspects and knowledge put into this course and into this class from all around the globe. So you're always ensured that the course is very much updated and to date with all the different aspects of knowledge through the heightened innovations of the scientific proof that has been heightened throughout the time. So it's really different from nowadays as to how you're going to be completing eyelash extension, because there's so much science behind the technique and skills that you can be able to learn. Then the next one, we're just going to go through what the course consists of, why choose our academy, who is it trained by is really important, because sometimes it's not the course that they're choosing, but they're choosing the trainer themselves. Maybe the trainer is a trainer that is really has really been in industry for a long time and is really exceptional in providing clarity with courses, and also has had experience in teaching and learning through different academies, and really wants to share their knowledge. Okay, so it's really important to be able to tell them why they should choose our product. Okay, whether that will be a knowledge-based product, whether that will be a product which is a beauty product itself, whether that will be a service-based product. So all these aspects are really important as well. When we're talking about product information, these are the type of information and informative aspects that we're wanting to include, so that the client, before purchase a higher price, example, one of these courses maybe goes to 8 to 1,200. Some courses starts from 2,200. So you're wanting to provide as much information preliminary for them to review, in order for them to either come and contact the company, or actually ask the company for more details and things like that. Okay, then obviously there's the terms and conditions. It's really important when we are going to be doing e-commerce, because in e-commerce, when things are working efficiently, there is automated systems. Okay, if every system is automated, you would actually have something that is very efficient for your company, and that way you can be able to grow in multiple different sectors. So you can be able to provide a service, you can be able to provide an academy, you can be able to have other companies add more products, product extensions, innovate other things to make your business or to make your brand more efficient, and actually providing more value back to your consumers and your clients as well. When we're talking about automated systems, some of the things that I want to highlight is to make your systems efficient. Making your systems efficient can be creating a payment system that is automated, linked to your PayPal account, linked to your Stripe account, linked to your WePay, and be able to have this automated done for you prior to actually creating your launches. So when you're creating your launches, make sure that you're checking the checkout and all the payment systems before actually launching the product. Next, automating your inventory. Okay, automating your inventory. When you have your inventory and everything on file, then that way you can be able to ensure that you can be able to track all your items. You can be able to ensure that all the items have been monitored. So for example, when you're doing your stock taking, you have a record of what is already there and what is not there, so you're not losing any product or inventory. Next, we are going to be talking about logistics and delivery. Okay, with logistics and delivery, I just want to especially with logistics and delivery, it really depends on what is available at that time. When we're talking about logistics and delivery, is your product stuck in a warehouse? Do you have a logistics company handling your product? With the logistics, is your logistics actually automated, or do you have a company like DHL or Australia Post to actually help you and guide you through the logistics and delivery method? Is your logistics and delivery dealing with having your own vans? So it's really important how you're going to be delivering your products as well. And also with logistics, it's really important because when you have an e-commerce store and a product, okay, for example, you've got a product, and as a consumer, when you receive the product, you actually, sometimes it's really intriguing the way consumer actually opens their product, opens the package, and inside you get, oh my God, what did I get today? It's like receiving presents. So it's actually really, really kind of unraveling of products that can be delivered. So it's a really essential part. And if you're wanting to create a really valuable brand, sometimes the product packaging, the way that the product opens up, the way that the client touches the product makes it a heightened difference. Okay, so there's something for you to actually think about to make your e-commerce store more valuable in terms of your brand recognition and your brand message. Now I'm just going to go through a little bit of other aspects of Omni exercise. So Omni exercise, as an addition to what we've actually done, whether that will be your retail, brick and mortar store, your social media, your e-commerce, your website, your mobile portal. There's an additional one is maybe kiosks in shopping centers, kiosks in other places as well. Then we have call centers. Does your product have call centers that makes your system more automated? So everything on the online arena really in lines with automating your systems though. So that is actually really important. I want you to complete a little exercise. We'll add this at the end of the class as well. So with the little exercise, we're wanting you to identify what your main products will be. We're wanting to identify what your product description will be, what your payment systems will be, what your logistics systems will be. So these are kind of the things that we're wanting to get you to start to think about in order to think about your online strategies and your online strategies for your e-commerce store. So the questions will be automated into your class. So I hope that was informative for you. And if you have any questions or if you're wanting to download the slides, you can head to our website and head to my to the link down below to be able to go through any links or other aspects of the course as well. So that's it for me today, and thank you so much for actually listening and going through this together. And yeah, thank you.